Oh, I'm trying to be as polite as possible, but that is not good.
Welcome to Chopstick Travel. I'm Luke Martin, and today we're in beautiful Mongolia. In this episode, we're going to be cooking a traditional dish of sheep's head. This is Chinggis Khan's favorite dish. I'm not so sure it's going to be my favorite, but it certainly will be interesting to taste. We just woke up on day 5, every night sleeping here in the gyr. No electricity, no running water, no toilet. It has certainly been a challenge to film and stay here in Mongolia, but we are loving it. Make sure to stay tuned for the end, so let's get the day started. If you guys are wondering how we always travel to these crazy places like Mongolia, it's partly because of our sponsors, and today's sponsor is ExpressVPN. For those of you who don't know, a virtual private network, or VPN, is one of the best ways to ensure total security when doing anything online. All you have to do is open the app, and then with one click, you're connected to a secure server. Besides online security, I also use ExpressVPN to watch my favorite shows on Netflix and YouTube videos that may not be available in the country that I'm traveling. And another big one for us is when we are traveling to China. As you may or may not know, the Great Firewall of China does not allow you to use YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and many other websites we use on a regular basis. By using ExpressVPN, I can get around this firewall and use everything as normal. Chopstick Travel viewers are getting their first 3 months free by clicking the link down in the description box or visiting expressvpn.com/chopsticktravel. Let's get back to the show. Before we leave today, let me give you a little tour of our gear. This is our last day here, so it's our last chance.
This is our kitchen, pretty basic, only some bowls, some spoons, no running water. This is pretty much it. This right here is my bed that I've been sleeping in, lots of blankets on it, and I'm using a sleeping bag as my pillow. This is our stove, and it's in the center of the gyr, which you'll see in every gyr in Mongolia. And we use it for cooking, and we also use it at nighttime to keep us warm. So cooking happens on top. You can put the wood in right here, and then it also has a chimney right up to the top. This is Luke's bed. He's been sleeping here for the past couple of nights. It's on the ground, but he has lots of blankets and a sleeping bag as well. And if you look over here, his bed is practically outside. There's wind just kind of blowing in. So we're really out here in the wilderness.
So it's certainly not luxury here in the gyr, but we have been getting good night's sleep. The very simple design is just because they need to pick up and leave 4 times a year at least. So taking all of the furniture and everything and leaving, moving to a different location. So everything's quite minimalistic. There's a lot of flies this time of year. That's one thing that's kind of been bothering us because of autumn. I guess that's when the flies come out. Other than that, it's been really comfortable. And I think it's now time to go meet up with Javka from Artger, who's been helping us with the entire trip here in Mongolia. And we're going to cook the sheep's head. So for today's episode, we are going to be cooking the sheep's head where we have been staying for the last 5 days at our gyr. The family we're staying with is herding all of their goats and sheep. You can see behind me here. I don't know, they must have a couple hundred of them there. And I think we're getting one of these sheep for cooking today. So we've got a sheep now that was pretty intense. They were using their horses to kind of form all of the sheep into a circle, and then one guy went in with the lasso and got it, wrangled it up first try. Pretty amazing. So for today's recipe, we're only using the head of the sheep, but we purchased a full sheep from the family, and they are going to actually keep the meat and the money for themselves. We're just going to use the head, and they will freeze that meat if they can't eat it all now and eat it later. So now we are just butchering the sheep down to the different parts right outside on the grass out front of the gyr. They're really fast at doing this. Everyone we've met so far here in Mongolia knows how to skin and butcher sheep in record speed. So something I'm noticing, as this is the second time we've seen this on this trip, is that the women always take the organs and start cleaning the organs immediately after slaughtering the sheep, and then the men take on the butchering. Usually the younger male just helps out while the older male is doing all the cutting. They definitely seem as though it's a normal thing for them. Very, very normal, casual almost.
As you can probably tell, it's super windy today. Not sure why, but this has been the first day where it's kind of been extremely windy, and we're just right out on the open plain, so really nothing to stop it.
Lots of friendly locals here. Really curious about why we're even filming their day-to-day life, but it's very interesting to us as it may not be to them. So the butchering is finished. I think we're going to move into the gyr. It's honestly turning into like a storm out here. The wind is so strong, the sand is blowing. So I think we're gonna do the rest, or at least some parts of the process inside. So the first step to cooking the sheep's head is to torch all of the hair off. We're going to boil it. This is not the cooking process, this is just to remove the hair. Here in Mongolia, it seems to be that one of the most favorite cooking tools is the blowtorch. We've seen it countless times. They love to use it just to burn away all that hair, get down to the skin. It's definitely fast and effective.
Halfway through the singeing, they brought in an axe and they actually chopped off the horns of the sheep. And this is a really interesting process to watch. Before they had blowtorches, they actually superheated a knife and then they would singe that hair off with the knife. And the process would take hours to do. Blowtorch makes it a lot faster.
How often does he eat the sheep's head?
Maybe 3 times in a month.
3 times a month?
Yeah. He like it.
Yeah. What is his favorite part of the head?
I'm the tiny tosta is in you.
Tongue. Yeah.
Time to wash the head. We're gonna get some water. We're gonna brush all the charred bits off and get ready for boiling.
So the head is all cleaned. They separated the bottom jaw from the top jaw to clean out inside, and now we're filling up the pot with water. We're gonna boil it away. So now we need to build a really big fire to get this super hot and boil it for about 40 minutes to an hour.
So besides just having the sheep head, we're also preparing a type of noodle soup today and some veggies with the meat to go along with our meal.
As the soup is cooking, we're going to go check on the sheep's head. Yeah, let's take a look inside. It smells pretty strong in here. Oh yeah, you can see it is bubbling away. Whew, that's hot. It's kind of got a green color to it.
Yikes.
We've come to the conclusion that we must seem very, very strange to the family we've been living with for the past 5 days. We've been flying our drone and using all of our fancy camera equipment, and they've just been going about their day. Their life is very simple but hardworking. You know, milking the cows, producing the dairy products that they sell at the market, and cooking dinner, keeping the fire going, collecting hay. It's all very simple, hard work. While we're here just filming our day-to-day life. It feels a little bit strange, but at the same time, I think we've created a nice connection, and you can actually see that even though this family is completely 100% nomadic, they even have Facebook. So the world is globalizing, everyone's becoming more connected. It's very interesting, very inspiring trip. So the soup is finished cooking. We're still waiting for the head. You can see all those noodles. It looks really, really delicious. Nice yellow color to the broth. So I think we'll start with the soup and then move on to the head after. I have a beautiful bowl of soup. This looks absolutely delicious. Look at all of those ingredients in there. Those thick noodles. We've got tons of potatoes, the carrots. There were some beets in there. I think they've kind of dissolved into the broth. But let me first start by just trying some of this broth. Oh man. Oh yeah. That is super, super delicious. You can taste that mutton. Not gamey, but really meaty flavor. Okay, I gotta go in, get a scoop with some meat, some noodles, everything. Let's try that. That is so hearty and delicious. Those noodles, nice and bouncy. The mutton is extremely tender, and then all of those vegetables completely fall apart in your mouth. Look at how good that is. Perfect Mongolian food to have out here in the gyr to keep you warm, keep you full. Just finishing off my third bowl of the soup. It was so good. I had to keep going back, and the flavor of the broth just keeps getting better and better. The vegetables are just completely disintegrating and mixing in there. Just look at the color of that. That is beautiful. So much nutrients. I think it's time for the head now.
Oh yeah, storage.
So we're in the sheep's head gyr now. It's cooking away. The smell is quite pungent. It's a little bit gamey smelling. They also added some intestine sausage inside and some vegetables. The broth is turning really like milky white. I'm interested to see how this is gonna taste. So she just took a piece of dough, which she thinned out very, very thin, and then used that dough to cover the sheep's head inside the pot and letting it cook away a little bit longer, covering that once again with the lid to let it cook. Pretty interesting technique. The sheep's head is finished finally, and we are heading back over to our gyr to taste it. So we're sitting down now, and the chef is cutting up some pieces of the sheep's head. You can see we've got the whole head. Oh, we're losing pieces. And we have some organs over here, some potatoes, carrots, and a little bit of this dough. So I think maybe I'll wrap a piece. This is a piece of the ear in the dough. This is gonna be my first taste of the sheep's head. Wow. It has a really interesting texture, very gelatinous. There's also some crunchy parts to it. The flavor, sort of smoky, and then that wrap, that dough, kind of a little bit soggy actually. This
is a piece, my next piece of the tongue, which is supposedly one of the best pieces. I'm gonna try this. It's good. Oh yeah,
Tongue.
this is a really good piece. Just tastes like regular meat, a little bit lean, very lean, but not chewy. So next he's cutting me some of the skin, the singed skin.
Yeah, we said it's hoich.
Oh yeah, you can taste the gasoline that was torched with. Very fatty, completely falls apart in your mouth. Not much flavor once again, just torched kind of burnt flavor. So now he's got a piece of the top of the mouth. Yeah, you can see this is like the roof of the mouth. Apparently this part's pretty good too. Yeah, look at that. Tagana. You can see all that texture there.
It's kind of chewy.
Yeah. Again, not much flavor. There's really not even a mutton flavor, no gaminess either, which is surprising because the smell is quite strong. This texture is like halfway between the skin and the tongue. A little bit lean and a little bit gelatinous. Oh God. Okay, I guess we're going for an eyeball. I didn't know that was really on the menu, but I guess you eat the whole head. So he's going in from the back, and I think he's just gonna pop the eyeball out here. Oh man. Can't say this is very appetizing looking. Oh. Okay. Just a small piece is okay? Yeah, okay, just some of the outer eyeball, sort of the fat around the eye. Okay.
Eye.
Yeah, some of the eye. Oh, it's really hot. Really kind of gunky feeling. Almost like a booger or something. Oh. It's actually not that bad. Very oily. This is a piece of the sausage in the intestine with some meat. It looks like you can see some of the grass that the sheep was eating earlier today. Oh yeah, that's the gamey part. Very, very gamey. Not a big fan of that. So now he's going in for the brain. Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe get me another piece of brain. I'm gonna have to eat the brain with a little bit of this dough, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Big piece of brain. Yeah. Oh man. I'm trying to be as polite as possible, but that is not good. That is kind of disgusting, actually. The texture is like cheese melting in your mouth. The tongue's good.
I will try this. Oh, yummy.
It's good, Jevka?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yummy, delicious. Oh.
What's your favorite part? The brain?
Tongue and skin and brain, yeah.
You like brain?
A little bit.
Jevka cut me a little piece of tongue. Apparently this is the best part, so I'm just gonna eat this. Yeah. It's kind of like deli meats. Let's go.
So we're going to share the rest of the head with the family, who enjoys it a lot more than me, I believe. I'm chasing everything down with some local watermelon, which is a little bit more my style.
Cheers, man. Yeah.
Cheers. This is a good watermelon.
Dude, that was gnarly. Okay? If you guys could smell what we were smelling. Woo! Yeah, you are brave for eating that. I only ate the tongue, which I think was brave enough.
Guys,
the tongue was good.
That wasn't that good. The tongue was good. The tongue was good. The skin was okay. Actually, the eyeball was okay, but the sausage
The brain.
and the brain.
We've had good experience
ear.
with brain because the goat brain in Sri Lanka was a lot different than this.
Another day on the Mongolian steppe is finished. What an interesting experience that was. Chinggis Khan definitely had a unique palate because that was certainly not my favorite dish. However, that noodle soup was seriously delicious. But if you didn't check out yesterday's episode, hit the link down in the description box. We had the famous Mongolian dish of horhog, cooked using superheated stones. It was probably the best thing we've eaten on this entire trip so far. That was, what did you think today? That was crazy.
It was crazy,
Yeah.
just from watching them catch the sheep. The head was just so interesting, and when they lifted the pot and I smelled it for the first time,
It's a little bit of a turn-off,
"Whoa,
yeah.
Okay.
I do just want to reiterate though that all of the meat is being used. Even the blood is being used for blood sausages. All of the organs were clean. The family will eat them tonight. The meat was distributed between a couple different families. We paid for the sheep, but they were going to cook the sheep anyway. So we paid the family and we're feeding several families.
Yes.
So we did eat a little bit of meat ourselves, but don't worry,
Yeah.
none of it is getting wasted as is per tradition here in Mongolia.
That's right. Yeah.
This has been a crazy, crazy trip so far. So if you guys haven't already, hit subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified when we post our next video. And we'll see you on another episode of Chopstick Travel soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.